In the northern part of San Diego, California, lies a series of unassuming beach towns. Amid the high-priced beachfront property lies a working class made of their own. Among them, professional surfers, snowboarders, and skateboarders are bred, while others immigrated to be part of the nucleus of what is fast becoming a lifestyle worldwide. In Carlsbad, nothing is different for Ricky Whitlock. The 25-year-old began his surfing career at 9 years old with an early focus and determination to turn his passion into a career.
When we moved to Carlsbad, I actually tried out for the basketball team and made the team, but that's right around the same time when I started doing NSSAs like every weekend and every other weekend. So I had to pick one or the other and pick surfing. Don't regret it at all.
I have 5 kids, but he ended up being like an only child. At 8 years old, he said, I want to be a professional surfer. Bob Hurley came up and said, we would love to have him on his team, and I went, there it is. His dream is coming true.
I was born into it, and it's just been part of my blood ever since.
A career in surfing is an unlikely path to choose for someone who spends the first 8 years of their life an hour and a half from the nearest beach. But all 6 members of the Whitlock family before him grew up surfing, and Ricky was no exception. When his family moved from a 2-story house in suburbia to a mobile home park across the street from the ocean, Ricky took full advantage of the opportunity at hand.
Going from a big house to a little trailer was, I still consider, an upgrade compared to being inland in the desert to being right on the beach. Everything that I own, I've worked for, and it's all come from the work I put into surfing. Surfing has always paid my bills. It's helped me live. It's helped me travel. We didn't have a lot, but I had enough to make it. I've always took that mindset that you give me an inch, I'm going to take a mile.
If talent is found inside oneself, not given, Ricky has distinctly set himself apart from his contemporaries.
It's important when you're formatting a program for a professional athlete that they're using every single muscle that they use in the sports that they participate in.
All that kind of stuff is really important. Rick's just one of those guys that's a talented surfer that knows he has to work hard at it. For me, I wasn't the most talented guy, of the group growing up. I just had to work harder than everybody else, and I think Rick kind of has a little bit of that in him as well.
Ricky's training program lasts all year, culminating every winter when the surfing world migrates to the Banzai Pipeline on Oahu's North Shore. And this year, it saved his life.
For some weird reason, before I went over this last time, I remember being at my house, and I've never once thought about it before, but this time I was thinking, geez, I haven't gotten worked at Pipeline yet. I wonder if this is going to be the trip that I get worked. And I have a perfect, vivid memory of thinking that and kind of talking to myself. And sure enough, the first session that Pipeline is breaking, my second wave is when I broke my back.
And there's just nothing you can do when you're working with a wave like that sometimes. I mean, you're always going to have a beat down.
As I was getting sucked over, all of a sudden it was just an abrupt boom, and instantly thought oh my gosh, I'm paralyzed.
And people started walking back. Because Ricky Whitlock, it's really bad. He might be paralyzed.
I was at lunch and the phone rang, and it was Sarah Dewey, and then she explained the wipeout, and it landed on the reef, and it might not be, could be paralyzed.
He had what's called a T12 L1, mostly L1 compression fracture. At that area, when you do have that kind of an injury, given that type of activity he was doing, those usually don't come out so good. Had he been one side more than the other, he would have collapsed the back as well. For sure, he would have been paralyzed.
With
potentially the training probably saved his life because of the strong core. Nutrition's key in sports performance. We designed, a program that was going to be best for optimal for his healing, quick healing, energy levels. So it's all based on your energy levels and performance.
Putting in some onions and bell peppers to mix in with my egg whites, just to add a little more flavor. Take between like 8 to 12 pills a day. I'm just fortunate enough that MRM hooks it up.
He didn't just sit in bed and watch videos and, now it's 12 weeks out and let's go train.
In his head from day one, I'm going to get better. He kept telling himself, I'm going to get better. I'm going to show these guys I'm going to get better, okay?
The daily schedule for any professional always seems endless. After a morning workout, Ricky's off to remind his supporters that he's not sitting still during his rehabilitation.
How's it going?
Good.
How have you been?
Good.
Yeah?
Oh.
Good to see you.
How are you? Good.
Second, right?
One game.
Right?
Good. Awesome.
How's it, man?
Good. How are you? Pretty good. Oh, it's going on back. How are you? Pretty good. Just cruising. Dropped in right here. Like, this is the wall. You don't get on the wall of drop-ins unless you drop in. Woo, first drop in. Whoa! Wait, how many? There's, what else?
He finishes off his day fulfilling media requirements at Transworld Surf Magazine to shoot an episode of Cote's Cube.
What's up, ladies and gentlemen? Here we are, a very special episode of Cote's Cube. It's special because our friend Ricky Whitlock is back.
With me, I've always been the type of person just to do it. I never really think about it, and that's kind of where like I said, I wasn't planning on getting in the water last week, but it just kind of like all happened, and I was feeling fine, and I just did it.
We're just stoked to have you back in the water, and we'll be following you, Ricky Whitlock, ladies and gentlemen. Cote's Cube. We'll see you in the water.
Yeah. Not as wedgy as
Back in the water, eh?
That's the Ricky, he's getting by, having a hell of a time everywhere he goes, and he has more fun than anyone for sure. He definitely got the lucky side of the draw there on that one.
when I talk to people about my injury, I get, your injury must have not been that bad. There's no way you're supposed to be doing what you're doing. You should be resting still. Kind of makes the hair on my neck stand up.
He's an extremist himself, so I know he's going to push the limit.
My main mindset, just getting a big barrel, a redemption barrel.
I do get nervous for Ricky when he goes, I'm going to go down to Mexico, or when the swell's, 15 feet or, whatever, I have to just let him go, and I can't think about it the whole day. And I said, just do me a favor, just give me that phone call.
But she's never caught off guard. She's ready for that phone call. Now that I'm in the water, I want to prove to everyone that something this serious isn't going to bring me down.
still born, your hair will gray, your beauty will fade. For 49 days, you're unkind and impaired. You can make it up until it all erupts in truth.
Disbelief from anyone else doesn't bother Ricky. If anything, it adds fuel to the fire. Surfing has taken Whitlock around the world several times over, and his determination continues to grow alongside each and every accolade.
Let go of the flesh, strip our bone. We're all so tired till you get home. So let your burden be your past.
He's got quite the career in front of him because, I mean, it's like they say, whatever doesn't kill you makes you stronger. That's Superman right there.
He's had to endure a lot by himself, and he's proved a lot by himself, and he's been humble through the whole thing.
Rick's done, all the work. He wouldn't be where he's at if he didn't put 300% into it, and that's what makes him a professional athlete.
It's a whole different deal. Like, you don't just go from 5-foot California to 20-foot Porto. Porto's at least a sand bottom. He's skiing any other surfers broken back in the area
That lived?
Yeah.
No. So what? Now you just gotta hope for him to like win a contest or like get a big barrel. Yeah. So we're following along just like you guys. See what happens.
When I was born, I came out and I broke her tailbone with my head. Surfing has always paid my bills. It's